tree pose. I'm loving it. Up to the top!
You know all this name. Oh, I love.
It's Luca. So today I'm going to be doing a 2017 recap, but I just kind of wanted to look back and kind of reminisce and talk about what happened during my 2017. I thought about doing like a cute artsy montage, but it's only showing the good parts of my year. I feel like that just doesn't give a lot of context. When you're looking back on your year, it is so easy to just like focus on the positive or focus on the negative, but you find that it's so much easier to look back on your year when you keep a journal. I am not like a journaler by any means. Like, it's not necessarily my priority, and that's definitely one of my New Year's resolutions is to journal more. The reason why I'm like able to look back and like actually see like what's truly happening in my life, because as much as looking back at pictures can like kind of make you remember that time, there's not anything that really can bring you back to your feelings than actually writing it down and reading it from that certain time. So that being said, let's just get into the video. So starting off on January, or with January, if you don't know, I am a gymnast. I compete competitively. It's a big part of my life. If you're new to my channel, you should probably know that. I was trying to move up to level 9, and if you're not familiar with gymnastics, jump to level 8 to level 9 is a big jump. It takes a big upgrade skill-wise, kind of mentally, because getting a new skill is always such like a mental process. Just like moving up a level and trying to get new skills, I was working pretty hard all summer, but going into my level 9 year, I don't want to say ready because I've been working so hard, but I like wasn't really ready. Like, I was busting my butt. I got privates every week after school. I would be exhausted just because I was putting in so much extra work because I was struggling to move up a level, and my main struggle was getting a skill called a shoot over on bars. It's when you go from the low bar to high bar. I'll insert a vid right here because I'm such an angel, and I just want you guys to know what I'm talking about because I know not everyone is cultured in gymnastics as well as I am. This skill is just so, it's so hard to get because it's such a mental thing, like going from the low bar to a high bar. Oh my gosh, there's so many things that could happen, and it's very scary, and it took me a very long time to learn and get the skill, and I would get it and then I would lose it. It was a struggle, and I got my shoot over. I had gotten the skill like down-ish with a spot like a week before competition started, and it was such a grind, such a push, and it definitely built my character for the rest of the year, I think, just because I know deep down I'm one of those people that I will work as hard as I can, and some people don't see it just because I feel like I'm not like so naturally gifted in gymnastics that I kind of have to work a little bit harder than the person next to me, and it will definitely take longer to start seeing results. But deep down in my heart, I am the only person that knows that I am working hard. I can remember thinking like, I'm working so hard, it's just not coming. Like, I don't want to disappoint people, but I know that I'm doing everything in my power to get this. And I believed in myself deep down, and it worked out for me. I feel like I'm telling like a literal movie of my life right now, but this is actually kind of fun. I'm kind of living. January 19th was my first meet, and let me tell you, it wasn't the best meet of my life. I kind of was feeling like so-so about the season, not sure what it was going to bring. Okay, and then we move on to February. So towards the end of January, I forgot to mention this, I would have only remembered this because I journaled it. I landed on my neck at a vault, and it screwed with my back so hard. I went to physical therapy. I just tried so many different things, and at the end of the day, I think it was because I just landed on my neck on a vault, and that's just not good for your body. So I think that's what happened there. I pretty much was not doing everything in meets. I think the rest of the meets in January, if we had any. And coming up to February was our first out-of-state meet, which was Las Vegas, and I was so excited. But at the same time, I was just coming off being injured, and I was only going to compete 2 events, which were bars and beam. And And on beam, I had just switched my series from a handspring layout to a handspring back tuck. And that was also a very big change for me because I was just like so set on this handspring layout for some reason. I don't even know why. Like, I was so bad at them. I kid you not, I would split the beam at least twice a week. And it was kind of just like at this point or at that point, it was just like a joking matter. Like, if I hadn't split the beam that week, it was like a really good week. One time I split the beam twice in one day. That was not a good day. But thankfully, my coaches are ever so smart enough to figure out that wasn't the series for me. So I switched series, and this was my first time competing it, and I had just gotten it like a couple days ago, and I was flying to Las Vegas too. And I can remember writing down in my journal, it's like something really quick. I was just like, my mom is really stressed out right now. That makes me stressed. Like, I pray that this meet goes well and I just have a fun time. And let me tell you guys, Las Vegas was probably one of the highlights of my year. It was so much fun. The meet went really well for me. The 2 events that I competed, I had counted for the team, which was really cool because I've never been one of those people that really like helped out the team. You know, I've usually been in like bigger teams where I've just kind of like not even thought about like my score would count. But this season I felt like I could actually help my team. I just couldn't believe myself. I went into that meet with like absolutely no pressure on myself because I'm like, hey, I just got the series, like it's no big deal. I stuck the series, had a great bars, and so I was pretty stoked about that. Me and my friends also that day or the next day went on the high roller in Vegas, and that was such a good memory. Looking back on that, I will just never forget it. Moving on to March, I had a meet, and I'm talking mostly gymnastics, but my life basically is mostly gymnastics, so hopefully you guys find it interesting. March, I competed in Nashville, Tennessee. This was spring break, and even though like most teenagers during spring break are like living it up, going to the beach every day, but for gymnasts, it's grind time. State meet is coming up, a bunch of different meets are coming up, and it is grind time. Like, we have morning practices, and we just work very hard during breaks because that's when we don't have school, so that means more gymnastics. I can remember Nashville was very fun. I didn't have like a really good meet, but things were definitely getting better for me. Like, it was definitely a progress from the first meet. And I can also remember that I worked very hard on mental kind of towards the end of the season, just because, well, I have a mental coach, if you guys don't know. Her name is Doc Ellie, and if I ever have some sort of mental problem, she helps me out, and I worked a lot on my mental stuff. I qualified to regionals in April, which was in Greensboro, North Carolina, and this was so wild, guys. So what ended up happening was the weather was bad that day, and we didn't make it to North Carolina until like 2 a.m. and it was a rough night. If you're an athlete, you know, like, you're pretty nervous for competitions, and just adding like the pressure of like traveling on top of that, you don't want anything to go wrong, especially when it's a meet like regionals. I had a bad night, but in the morning I got some sleep and I rocked that meet, and I was not expecting to do this. Well, like, not that I was not expecting to, I just like didn't put that much pressure on myself this season. Like, it was something about like, it was like my first time competing this level. Sometimes I put all the weight of the world on my shoulders and I feel like it's all or nothing if I fall or not, but I feel like this season I just kind of like stayed a little bit more chill, and that helped me to my advantage. I learned that you don't have to freak yourself out to do good. Like, you can just roll in the meet, just be chill. Don't think it's all or nothing. It's just a meet. Like, you just have fun. Like, you're only 15. So yeah, and I did great, and I qualified to nationals, and this was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, this was not even a goal of mine. I didn't even think I was capable of doing this. It just blowed my mind because like, I did not think I was that good enough. I never have looked at myself as like some rock star gymnast. Usually pretty chill about gymnastics. Like, I'm not very competitive. That's just not my personality. So when I made it to nationals, I was like, heck yeah, baby, like, I did that. Like, what? And so I definitely think that was the hard work that I had been putting in for so long, that it was finally showing. That's something that I'll take away with me for my whole life, because just know that like, you can work so hard and not see results, but eventually you'll see the results, and then once you do, it will just be the most rewarding feeling in the world. So also during April, I went to Ariana Grande, and I also had the algebra EOC, which was a really stressful event in my life because I'm not good at math, but Thankfully, I passed it. Also, on the 30th of April, I competed in nationals in Lansing, Michigan. And at this point, I was just like happy to be there. It was so fun though. Like, it was definitely up there with one of the most fun meets because there was just so much good energy. I'm not gonna go into it. I have a vlog if you guys wanna go watch it, but it was just overall such a rewarding experience knowing that I got myself there. So May was pretty cray-cray. So first of all, my mom picked up Grayson, who was a puppy. He's a sheepadoodle, if you guys don't know. This was so out of nowhere because we had been wanting a sheepadoodle for the longest time, and we had put in kind of like our order, or like our deposit. An order for a dog just does not go together. But we put in our deposit probably like 2 years ago, and this breeder is very like top notch, so it's kind of hard to, you know, she doesn't like breed the dogs out like unhealthily for the mother, so it's kind of hard to get the dog. One day she called, she was like, hey, like I have a blue-eyed sheepadoodle that's ready for you. Do you want to pick him up? And so my mom flew to Virginia and picked him up a couple days later. I also went to Playlist Live. That was pretty fun. I met a bunch of cool YouTubers who I looked up to, and it just really inspired me because I knew that as much as like I was looking up to these YouTubers, they weren't any better than me. They weren't, you know, any better of a human than me, and it just inspired me to next time there's a YouTube event, like be one of the creators and not just be like someone looking up to someone, because I already know like I can do it. I'm gonna be there one day eventually. It's just a matter of time. May was also a little bit rough because I crashed on bars on the same skill, the shoot over. That's like the only thing I talk about, but it was definitely the skill of the year to say the least because it caused me my glories because I made it to nationals because of my bars, but it also caused me some of my fears and some experience that I grew from. So I crashed really hard on bars in May, yes, and it took a toll on me because I hit my leg. I have a scar from it. Not gonna show you guys because it's kind of hard, but it definitely took a toll on me mentally, and I can remember like really wanting to quit gymnastics at that point because I was just so shooken up over it mentally that like I had questioned whether it was worth it because I was so scared to even get back on the bar after it. Like, that's how bad it was. And so moving into June, I finished freshman year, which is a huge thing for me. Looking back, freshman year doesn't even seem like 2017. It seems like 2012, I don't know. But freshman year, I'm just glad it was done because it was not the best year school-wise. I'm not gonna go too much into it because this is already a long video, but I'm just gonna say that like I was just not happy freshman year. I didn't have a lot of friends and I just didn't have a lot of fun at school, so don't want to get too depressing, but freshman year was not my year. June 4th, I have written down, I hit 30K on YouTube, which was an accomplishment. July, I traveled to Iceland, Amsterdam, and Stockholm. It was amazing. It was so nice to just kind of drop all the anxiety of school and the stress of gym and just kind of take a vacation. It was really fun because I'd always wanted to make it back to Amsterdam, and Iceland was completely breathtaking. I also like Stockholm, but I got sick towards the end of it, and it just kind of left a bad mark on me because whenever I think of Stockholm, I think of like me being sick. I also met Tana. I went to her world tour, I think, yeah. August, not much really happened in July except for traveling. August, I traveled to Cape Cod to visit my family, and this is definitely like one of the highlights of my summer. I had such a fun time in Cape Cod, and I feel like the small vacations always end up being kind of the ones that I remember most just because we try to jam pack as much as we can. So we went to Cape Cod for like a weekend, I think, and that was really fun. I can remember I was pushing the YouTube videos at that time too, and I hit 40K. September, my channel really started growing. I launched merch, and not just because my channel was growing, I had been planning on launching merch. I'd been working on it the whole summer, which was a huge accomplishment for me. I also went to Nationals Camp, which seems like yesterday, honestly. Nationals Camp was such a fun time, and it was the first time I had really traveled without my parents. So there's definitely some things that I learned from, such as locking myself out of my hotel room. That wasn't the best idea, but I definitely feel like that trip was just kind of like a reward for making it to nationals, because only people that made it to nationals got to go, and the gym was absolutely stunning. And I can just overall remember having a really great time with my friends and my teammates. And then October, nothing much really happened in October. I went to a football game. I dressed up for Halloween as frat boys. That was such a fun night with my friends. Also, I want to say, like, I feel like this year has already started out so much better than freshman year, because I feel like I just have so much more friends than I did last year, and it's just really nice to have like people at school who you genuinely like look forward to seeing, because freshman year I did not have that. I was still kind of in the process of knowing people. So this year I'm really thankful for everyone in my life, because I definitely didn't have that. Okay, so I haven't really shared this with you guys on YouTube, but I got really into the law of attraction, and it started out with me being kind of like always like get in good moods about things, and I would almost get like in a really good mood, like I would get so happy, and then I would have downs, and then that would like affect my emotions too. But then I just kind of realized that it was kind of like a self moment, like no one really told me this, but I just kind of like realized, because I'm a genius and everything, that happiness should not be coming from your moods and like what's going on in your life, because no matter what's going on in your life, like there's always going to be something that's not perfect and you can choose to be sad about. But in the end, happiness doesn't come from other people or moods. Just like simply like, oh, I got an A on my math test, like I'm happy today, like I'm giving myself permission to be happy. But at the end of the day, I learned that happiness is something that comes within you, and it's not something that anyone else can give you, and it's not something that comes off of like you get it from something. Like you don't get happiness from like having more money. That doesn't make you genuinely happy in the end. It's yourself that has to create happiness. I also got really into the law of attraction. This is definitely thanks to YouTube. Although YouTube is becoming a very questionable place right now, I can definitely credit my getting into the law of attraction because of I stumbled across some YouTube videos that like opened my eyes kind of, and I found this YouTuber named Aaron Dougherty. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'll leave a link to his channel, but just kind of like about how the universe works and how your mind and your thoughts and your subconscious mind all affects your life, sort of. I don't know, I'm not like enlightened or like an expert, but that's basically what it is. Like we're all radiating different energy levels, and if you're radiating positive energy and you have hashtag good vibes, good vibrations, whatever you want to call it, then you're gonna attract like more good things into your life. But if you're being negative, then you're going to attract negative things in your life. I don't know, I find it really fascinating, so I owe it thanks to that YouTuber. He uploads every day, and it honestly is so helpful, because if I stop watching his videos, I will kind of like stop implementing like his tips into my life. November I just put grind in, because I had so much schoolwork, so much YouTube I was doing, juggling school and YouTube and gymnastics, not gymnastics. And I went Black Friday shopping with my mom, which was a very fun experience. December is always a big month for me because it's my birthday, it's Christmas, and that's basically it. This year we had finals before Christmas, which was a big hashtag grind. I was just a busy girl. But anyway, so starting out, I had my first meet in the Bahamas, which was very exciting. It was during my 16th birthday too. And I also turned 16, which is something that like when you're a little girl, like you look forward to turning 16. Like you can drive, and you can drive. It was definitely a big life change, and I've still been getting used to it, because you're definitely like, you're forced to be very self-dependent and self-reliant, as before where I feel like I kind of relied on my parents more. So I think I'm definitely becoming more responsible right now, and I hope that I continue to become more responsible, because that's definitely something I need to work on. I'm pretty pumped for 2018. I have no idea what it's going to bring, honestly. I think I'm gonna cut the video off right here because it's probably already like 20 minutes and that's such a long video. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, follow me on all my social medias, and you should also subscribe to my vlog channel because I'm posting a lot of vlogs, driving vlogs possibly. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys! Mwah.